They say the adverts come earlier every year. They don't. I check. Make a little note when I first see one. Of course, I barely pay any attention to all that nonsense. Kevin and I, we always go away. I insist upon it. Aspen last year. Paris the year before. This year it's the Maldives. I see people going back to work more tired than when they left, and I think, why do they do it? When they could be lounging on a beach or tucked away in a cosy brasserie enjoying some peace and serenity. Last year we just sat in our warm wooden ski lodge all day. Kevin with the papers and me with a Jilly Cooper and a champagne cocktail. Heaven! You know, Kevin and I always say to one another, isn't it lovely that we can just sit together in complete silence? We don't feel the need to fill it with endless chitter-chatter. Of course, we're lucky. Kevin's parents are both dead. And my mum, well, she's always busy, very active with the church. I don't think I'd like to be a regular churchgoer over Christmas. I'd say, ooh, here for the births and in 4 months the death. You do know he did a bit in between, don't you? Oh. Opportunists. No loyalty. Bet they'd switch gas suppliers at a moment's notice. Of course, the only pitter-patter we're going to hear in the Maldives is the sound of the odd tropical storm passing over. No, children, not for us. We're too busy. Our lives are full enough, thank you. Kevin's an accountant with his own firm, and I account for him. Plenty to keep me busy just round the house. Plus, I've got Pilates Monday, Fake It Till You Bake It Tuesday, Mindfulness on Wednesday, Maasai tribal dancing on Thursday, and hieroglyphics for the over 40s on Friday. I'm never bored. No, it's not for us. Stay together for the kids, they say. Kevin and I, we could get divorced tomorrow. I'd get the house and car and he'd get the business. Done. Oh, I do still love him though. At least I think I do. It's complicated, you know. Lust turns to love, turns to friendship, turns to routine. I'm not sure if I still fancy him. I'm just not used to looking at him like that. He's a fixture. He's the thing that sits opposite me. Plus he's ballooned a bit in our 20 years. I always think without the moustache he'd look just like a wooden spoon. When I was getting to that age, a friend of mine said I should freeze my eggs. I said, I don't even fridge my eggs. On the granite work surface next to the Nespresso machine. I did mention it to Kevin, but he agreed with me. No, it's a bit desperate really. If you've missed your chance, you've missed it. Just think of all the wonderful things you can do. You're free. You can go anywhere at a moment's notice. Well, Kevin's work is very demanding, so we don't get more than a few weeks off in a year. But in theory, we are totally liberated. All Kevin would have to do is get a week ahead of his work, move his client list to other employees, make sure Gavin understands the alarm system, pre-order any supplies that are running low, and write to all his clients telling them of his absence. And then we are out of here. That's why when I hear people say Christmas is for the children, I think to myself, yeah, that's why we're going to Menorca for an all-inclusive. We do miss Thomas Cook though. Kevin says it's the biggest loss this country's felt since Diana. You know, in our house, we've got a spare room, a study, and an office. See, when you don't go down the Rugrat road, you get the gift of time and space. We've got so much we could make a continuum. Yes, Christmas is a wonderful time for us. Kevin always drags his heels, but I say, no, we're booking somewhere. We need to get away from it all. Of course, we did come close. As close as anyone could come. I do love the NHS. They were so good. Kevin couldn't take the time off, so I went alone, and they were so very lovely. It was over in a matter of minutes. I even made it home for Murder, She Wrote. Kevin and I just didn't see how we could fit it in. I said, I suppose you make it work. But Kevin, he's so good at being unemotional. I was full of hormones, really acting quite out of character. She would have been 9 this Christmas. I always think of her as a she. My mum had 3 girls and she was one of 2 girls, so I figured. I always liked Poppy. Maybe it's one of those names that's cute as a child and not so good as an adult. I suppose it doesn't matter if they never grow up. 9-year-old Poppy. I suppose she'd be into all sorts of electronic gadgets I would never understand, and I'd be running round the high street looking for God knows what. But I'd want her to read, so she could be smart and independent and make her own way in the world. But she'd be full of life, running from room to room, shrieking with joy. Silly. Silly. I mean, they told me she was just a collection of cells. I don't like the word cell. Besides, now we have the next 20 years to do as we please. Until Kevin finally retires and we can move out of this bloody house. It's too big. It's much too big and it echoes. It's like living in a cathedral. But we're lucky that we can do anything. We can do absolutely anything.